Oh, oh, the camera's on. My bad. Y'all the camera. I thought the camera was on. Man, doing the
Oh
bread and hover
shit.
dance right there. Y'all got to learn that. That's the end thing. Is doing the bread and hover dance. Y'all got to learn that. Over. What's
Yo,
going on
yo.
with you?
Oh
What's
man.
happening?
Hey man. Hey, it's a new show.
Yeah, it is. On time.
uh
Yes, sir.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Out of the Matrix. Yo,
Out of
what's
the
going on
matrix.
with you, man?
Hey, ain't no thing, man. Ain't no thing. Congratulations to you, Hover, as the new
Yeah.
parent of some fur babies. Yes, sir. What applause. I'm so happy, proud.
Hey man. Hey.
Y'all are the new parents of some fur babies. Congratulations.
Hey. Well, thank you, thank you. You know, it wasn't like I was looking for it.
Exactly.
It just happened in my backyard. But yeah,
Exactly. That's exactly. When you
yeah, man.
all fur,
Hey,
most fur babies, that's how it happens.
but thank you for giving me some information because I have no idea
Uncle
how
said is
they.
always here. Uncle Bread always here and got the answers.
I have no idea. I don't understand cats how they habitat,
Oh,
their behavior, their nature. But I know you know because
yeah,
you was a
yeah,
cat owner. Oh,
yep. Cat owner. I grew up with cats inside and outside throughout the years. So my mom had them, my neighbors had them when I was a kid, and then as I got older, mom got them again. So had them inside and outside. So I know them very well.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Indeed.
that's good deal. Good deal, man. But yeah,
Man, what's
yeah.
going on with you?
Well, same old, same old. You know. I mean, we got four of them, four kittens.
Woo! Yes. But the only thing about
So
sometimes they just, they go they when they get old enough, they find their way through. So you
well, but
probably end up with
if you know anybody who interested, let me know.
will do, will do, will. I'll let you know. Are they still nursing?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, they moving around now. I
Oh,
mean, they
oh,
walking
they
around.
moving around.
Yeah, they walking around.
Oh,
So
look at
I don't
see.
think so.
Oh, look at see. Got them walking around now. Oh.
Yeah, I mean they getting around pretty good. So shit,
Well, so are they? So who's eating the regular food? Is the mama just eating the regular food, or the kittens eating the regular food?
shit, all of
Oh well, get them some food. Get them some. Sometimes the little kitten food help with their nourishment too. But whatever y'all give them, they be happy because the alternate is they wouldn't have nothing. So
But it's the funniest thing. I mean, their behavior. I mean,
mhm.
they only they only come here in the morning time, and then they get the
Yeah,
hell on.
yeah,
After
yeah,
they,
yeah,
I guess after they eat, then they go back
yeah,
over the fence. That's why I
yeah,
was
yeah.
asking you, like,
Yeah. It's normal. That's what they do. We got neighbors right now that got cats or kittens. They're grown now, but they'll come over here to play and relax and hunt. They like to hunt. And so they keep stuff out your yard. So if you got stuff like that you may not be aware of, stuff like, lizards, rodents, or snakes, or whatever you might have in your yard, birds sometimes that ain't, they keep your yard clean of all that clean. So you ain't got to worry about that kind of stuff if you got them around. So
gotcha.
congratulations. He's like, man, I don't never see no whatchamacallit because you got some cats around your yard. That's why you don't see that
You ain't
stuff.
lying, yeah. You got a good point. I definitely don't see shit.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what you want. But hey, anyway, welcome to the Bread and Hope Show. As you can see, we got extended family. Hope you got to name them. So let us know what you name them later on next week or whatever. So let us know the name next week.
All right.
The Harry, Larry, and Moe and Shimp.
There'll be something like that. Yeah, shit. Spanky, buckwheat, and alfalfa. Hell, I don't know.
Oh boy, that's funny. Oh man, it's hilarious. But look, man, got a good show for y'all tonight. We got a lot going on. Got a little Braves talk we're gonna talk about tonight. Definitely, we got a lot of basketball to talk about. We're gonna talk a little about some college football too, and this NFL release schedule. You know, is it a big deal or no, not quite. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit tonight. And what's gonna happen with LeBron James? His season is over early again. So we gonna talk about that and tonight's show. So welcome to the Bread and Hope Show. If you are not aware, we are based in Atlanta, Georgia, and we talk about sports primarily in the state of Georgia. So whatever you have for us, whatever your team is, whether it's here or elsewhere, feel free to be part of the show and speak on it. Hope what you got.
Yeah, just want to give some shout outs to the Dirty Bird Nation, NFC South fans, Falcons first and 10, the Enhanced Sports Show. That's Lou Show. I guess Lou will be joining us
Lou.
later. Mo Brown Sticking and Station and the Atlanta Old School Drummers.
Yes, sir. Shout out. I got my Morgan colors on today. So shout out to them Morgan Bears, the National Treasure, Morgan State University. And shout out to my grandboy Jay. He will be graduating Decatur High on Saturday. So congratulations to him on it. It's been rough, but we all thank you. So the village got him through.
All right.
Once he get out of there, he will be attending Tuskegee University in Alabama.
All right. So he decided on Tuskegee.
Tuskegee University, yes, sir. So we gonna roll
right.
with the Tigers of Tuskegee.
All right, that's all right.
Yes, sir. So look, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Rest in peace again, man. The Braves been getting hit hard with these losses. Last week it was Ted Turner. He lost his bout with dementia. True Braves legend, philanthropist, founder of CNN, just all around TBS, TNT, putting the Braves on the map, all of that. Former Hawks owner too. And right after that, this past Saturday, we found out that we lost Braves former manager, Bobby Cox, man. 84 years old, a legend in this game. Although he had 162 ejections, Bobby wasn't taking no mess. He wasn't taking no mess from nobody, but that's all because he believed in protecting his players. You talk about a player's coach, that was him. 14 straight pennants, National League East pennants, 5 National League pennants, get 5 World Series appearances. He's got 1 chip to show for it. One is better than none, Bobby. And he finally got it done. So I would say that he's definitely the Braves winning as manager. But I will be willing to go as far as saying, Hover, that he's probably the winningest coach in Georgia sports history. So I mean, yeah. I don't know if I can think of a better coach or a manager for Atlanta sports, at least Atlanta sports history, better than Bobby Cox.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think his record definitely speaks for itself, but I don't see any other coach, in the professional sports that I'm aware of, that's done more than what he has.
Yeah. So just a lot of I thought it was real cool of the Dodgers. We did win that season. We did win that series against the Dodgers. So cool, bravo. Yeah, spank that out. 7-2, 7-2. Should have swept them. But at any rate, class act by the Dodgers by paying homage to Bobby Cox on Saturday. We had that away game against the Dodgers, but they paid homage to Bobby Cox. Before the game, during the game, I think seventh inning stretch. But during the game, they paid homage to Bobby Cox. When you have organizations like the Dodgers, they didn't have to do that. But when you had them pay homage and took the time to put something together, and because you had the Braves in town, that at least as a Braves fan, that meant a lot to me. So shout out to them LA Dodgers, man, for doing that for Bobby. There's a lot of things going on. Tonight, last night, paying homage to Ted Turner, and because this is the first. The Braves are playing the Cubs, and they get a chance to pay homage to both Bobby Cox and Ted Turner this week in terms of what they've done. So 1-1 tie right now. Chicago's another type team too, hot team just like the Braves. But shout out to them for doing that for Bobby. Rest in peace, condolences to Bobby's family, friends, former players, everybody who's played with or for Bobby Cox. And Bobby probably wouldn't say they played for me. He was a team leader kind of guy. He was like, we all in this thing, in this dugout together. So Bobby was definitely the players' coach, man. And you can hear what Chipper Jones had a lot of stories to share. And you could tell he's really hurting with the loss of former friend and manager Bobby. Bobby Cox played when he was a player before he was a coach and GM. He was a GM too. He actually they were going to go with somebody else, a pitcher. I forget the guy's name. But Bobby's like, no, let's go with Larry Wayne Jones. Let's go with Larry Jones. This guy's got what it takes. And so Bobby paid attention to his gut, and we drafted Chipper Jones, and the rest is history. Yeah, man. So shout out, man, and to all of that, and to pay homage, and one of Atlanta's greatest. Hope.
Absolutely, man. No doubt about that. As you mentioned about the Braves being, hot right now.
Yeah.
Are they for real or not? I mean, it's so early. In baseball they play so many games. It's just too early to tell. But you kind of gotta, of course, you gotta really like what you see early on right now.
Yep.
It looks,
yep.
It looks possible.
It looked legit enough to me,
It looks almost legitimate enough. So, but it just, my opinion, I think it's too early to tell. It's just too many, we're not even, if we were past All-Star week and all that, and we sitting here looking at, then maybe I could say yay, but
yeah,
we're not even, not even close. So, but I like what's going on though. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I agree. I'm with you on this one, Hope. Braves are currently 29-13. That's major league best. They've only lost one series all year. It's against the Seattle Mariners last week. And 1-1 tie right now with the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs, they're the next hottest team. So you got two hot teams playing against each other, 1-1. Pitching's been holding up for the Braves. Austin Riley finally got his mechanics together where he's finally hitting the ball kind of a little bit more decent because he's been playing like trash. We still been winning. Charlie Murphy's out again. Sean Murphy's out again. Sean Murphy's out again with the injury. He's out for about a couple of months. But we're pretty deep at catcher. So Braves are hanging in there, man. Braves look good. I'm with you, Ho. I think, let's just take it. Let's not look too far ahead. Let's just accept it, win for win, game for game. Let's take it game for game and then series per series. And let's keep our head down. Keep our head down, game for game, series from series. And at the All-Star break, let's see where we are and then put our head back down again, kind of see where we are and just play ball. I like Chris Sale. I think Chris Sale's played a big leadership role with this team. Remember where we were this time last year. Nobody wants to repeat that. So I think the guys are really playing hard. So wherever the Braves end up, I think it's a good start. I always want to watch Philly. I think they fired the manager, so then they got Mattingly in there now, somebody, and so they've been winning lately. I think I don't know, won 7 out of 10 or something like that lately. So they'll be slowly creeping up behind the Braves, but I expect that. Mets still suck. They're gonna suck. They will always suck. So Mets are not gonna do much. We're not expecting anything from the Mets. All that the big payroll from the Mets. That's all it is. A lot of names, a lot of money, and they got nothing to show for it but a lot of L's. But it's still early. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen. But I don't think they're gonna get hot. I think it's it's for the Braves to lose. Philly's gonna be right there, and we'll see what happens. The Marlins are real young. We'll see what happens with them. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's too soon to tell about the Braves. We just take it game for game, Hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, we take a game per game. Even if we'll see what happens with the game tonight against the Cubs, 1-1. Even if we lose this game, we still have a chance to win the series. So go Bravos. Look, man, NFL schedule releases tomorrow. Big deal or not, Hope. I mean, some people, think it's a real big deal. The NFL is really, I mean, even their offseason makes news. So, I mean, what say you, man? Big deal or not?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. The fans wanted to know the team they support. What games they can attend, or if they have an international game. So I think it's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I guess, but if you're not a fan, of course, of the sport, you could carry the weight. But if you're a fan, yeah, absolutely.
The way I look at it, Hope, is I already know who we playing, so most of the mystery is over. The only dates I really don't care about the game in the middle of October, but but I do care about the game. I care about who we playing first, who we playing last. What are the holiday games? What are the Monday night games? That part of the schedule. Prime time games, that kind of stuff. We playing the Bengals in Madrid, Spain.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, but man, I just getting up for those.
You don't
getting up
want to
for
go to
those
Spain?
games. I don't know, man.
That'd be a nice trip, though, man. You probably, you have to take a whole week.
I mean, yeah, we can take some time. It's just expensive. It's just expensive, man. It's just expensive. I mean, right now, if you were to tell me this game was like 2 years ago up under a different administration, then I'm cool. But I mean, things have been just high. This is just not a real good time to travel because of the cost. Everything's going up. Gas prices are high, and because gas and oil prices, and there's a conflict with oil, the war with Iran, then that affects us. That affects people day to day in terms of the gas you put in the car. That affects your trips because planes need fuel. And so, and that jacks the price up. That's why things are so expensive right now. And so normally the tickets to fly wouldn't be as high, but it's expensive, man.
But no, I mean, to your point, I mean, it's definitely not a economical trip. Like, okay,
Right.
we're going to see the Falcons play here. We just take a road trip to go to Charlotte or go to Tampa, whatever the case.
Right.
Instead of a couple of $100 for that, we're talking about thousands of dollars.
Yeah, thousands and thousands
for a trip. I mean, I'm looking at the price, like for one ticket is $1,000. So you and I go is $2,000. That's $2,000. That's just that's just the ticket. We're not talking about. Yeah, we're not even talking about the airfare, hotel, food, and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah.
So
that's everything that goes with it. Yeah.
If the ticket, $1,000 ticket, and then you throw in the airfare, the food, hotel, easily that trip can easily be close to $4K. Easy.
Yep. Easy. easy. And so 4K and then some. You need someone, and
But
plus you want to take some
that's
tours.
only one person. That's not two
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Two people. That's gone right. So that part, and so without the conflict over in Iran and that kind of stuff, then you're looking at cheaper ticket prices. Yeah, I mean at least travel plane tickets. You're looking at that a little bit cheaper. I think the game is what it is with the game, but your travel fare would be a lot cheaper. So it's plus administration's beefing with Spain, so it's just a mess, man. We can't. It's just really tough to go anywhere nowadays, man. So
Which is
uh, I,
understandable. I mean, I could totally
mhm.
understand your point. I mean, I think especially under the circumstances of what's
Yeah,
been
right,
going
right,
on,
right, right,
you kind of just feel like, okay, I'll just stay put here domestically,
right, right,
and
right, exactly.
and even being here domestically, we cross our fingers at some point. So
Right. Right, right. And
yeah,
even if you want to, drive to Charlotte, it's only a couple of hours from Atlanta. You still got to pay for gas. Normally, there's not a lot of money, but you may have to have more fill ups because gas is higher. And if you got a car that takes premium, that's even more. So, I mean, you can never.
but
Every time you should. Well, I'm trying to take politics out of it, but you cannot because it is it's like an overcast cloud over the country, and it touches everything
yeah,
you do.
but the thing about it, of course, is more I guess you could say economical for the guys to get together to do a guy trip
Yep.
to
Yeah.
Charlotte, and we all put our resources together,
Right.
and you know, it let's just say 300 a piece for everybody. That maybe include ticket and gas, but that's
Mm-hmm.
$300. We're not, that's not probably not including food and everything else.
Right.
But at least
Right.
we know three. If we all come together, put 300 together, we can pretty much get there and we can get our tickets.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So versus international trip.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough, Ho. So I mean, yeah. So again, the release schedule to a point. Yeah. I mean, I want to see. I look for certain dates and certain stuff in games, holiday games, prime time games, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night games, that kind of stuff. And I look for the Aints whenever we play the Aints. What dates do those fall on? But everything else is just everything else, that falls in between. So yeah, that I look for that part of the schedule. So that like I said, being a fan, you kind of pick and choose specifically what you're looking for. But speaking of football and politics, man, I don't know if you heard the comments from Ryan Clark. Um, and this is not the first time he said, made some comments. And when athletes, get to a certain status in the media, they become a little bit more comfortable, I guess. And that's fine. That's cool because we've come a long way to where that wasn't even the case. And maybe, like them or not, you have to attribute that type of being comfortable to people like Stephen A. Smith. He's comfortable saying whatever. He gets in trouble sometimes, but he's still on TV. He's one of the highest paid personalities doing what he does. So Ryan Clark, in terms of college athletes, um, should not play for schools that support gerrymandering. And so, if you're not familiar with the term gerrymandering, in terms of the politics of drawing specific district lines to have for one political party to have an advantage in terms of voting. And so, among a lot of states in the South, going through it, Georgia, Texas, a lot of the, I just say a lot of the SEC schools are going through some type of gerrymandering, especially Texas. This is probably worse in Texas than it is anywhere else, going through it. And so Ryan Clark and a lot of players and people like, hey, this gerrymandering affects liberals. It affects black folk, and it affects the people that play football. And it's like I'm not going to get that deep into it. That's a whole different show in itself. But I thought it was interesting that he brought that up because A lot of people have strong feelings about that in the South. And so I don't think that Ryan Clark was lying in terms of what he was saying. Um, I think that,
Yeah, I mean, I think
yeah, go ahead, Hope.
no, I mean, yeah, I think there's some validity to that statement, and it's just one of those things. I think we're gonna always in college athletics, um, you're gonna always have some kind of controversial, kind of controversial situation to where you have to look at even with NIL. I mean, there's still a lot of different things with that. Is it fair that Archie Manning is getting 3 or 4 million and then someone else only getting about 120K? You know, uh, so it's not going to always be, I guess, even going back to Ryan Clark's statement. I think it's one of those things. Very like you said, man. I think so. What do you do about it,
Yeah.
though? How can
Well, 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 yeah, right. And so I think what Ryan Clark and some people are saying is that, well, uh, the players or the parents of the players should just boycott those schools in those states. And so if you're in a state that practices those gerrymandering tactics, then I'm not sending my kid to Georgia. I'm not sending
Yeah,
my kid to Texas. I'm not sending them to LSU. I'm
but
not sending them to
but just like
Alabama. I'm gonna
but
send them
just
to Ohio State. I'm gonna send them to Michigan State. I'm gonna send them
yeah,
to the
yeah.
West Coast to play football. That kind of thing. And so, you
But
know,
you and I
that
know that, but that's why I go back to talk, man. I made the statement about NIL. That's not gonna happen. Um,
right. Well,
it's
right
just not.
because
I mean,
right because and like I said,
if I go to Georgia and I can get, even though gerrymandering may be in place, but at the same time, my NIL situation is going to be through the roof versus if I go somewhere
well,
else.
right because what I'm
So
saying is I can be
that's
bought.
what.
I'm saying I can be bought is what I'm saying. And so what I'm saying is that yeah, I may have my beliefs, but my beliefs are at a cost, right? So like yeah, I believe a certain way, but I can put it to the side if you pay me enough money,
Absolutely. So
right? So right. That's what I'm getting at. So it's
that's what
like
that, but that's what I'm saying is that's why I
right.
say it's not.
I mean,
It's validity. There's validity there, but at the end of the day,
yeah,
you and I know, these programs makes a lot of where a lot of
they make it
a lot
makes
of pockets of money. There's a lot of pockets of money, and
right.
there's no
It's easy.
way you can
It's
go ahead.
right. I'm just saying it's easy to say that when you are already chilling, but if you say that to a kid in the hood that don't know where his meal coming from, and
Yeah,
the
that's
only
not.
way he
Yeah,
can eat, only way he can eat is making this money. It's like, y'all can say what y'all want to say about this gerrymandering stuff and about, because
right.
that's the big problem because the gerrymandering can play a role that keeps you poor. That can, the voting, it can keep your family in generation in a certain spot. That's the
That
big picture.
that's exactly where I was
But
gonna go with it. Yeah,
right. I'm
exactly.
saying that's the big picture of it. But if my day to day is like, well, I don't know. I need to know where my next meal coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. If I ain't eating at the school, then I don't know where my meals are coming from. And so
Right.
if I'm going to a college and say you don't have to worry about this, we're gonna take care of you, your mama, your dad, who else you want to take care of. We got this NIL money, and you can think you can ain't nobody saying you wrong. You can go ahead and do better for your community when you get to the pros. But I want you to come to pay for me at Ole Miss and make us look good for a couple years. I'm gonna put this in your pocket, and does that make you feel a little bit better? That kid and his mama gonna say, "Hell yeah!" And so,
Exactly.
and that's the rule. We're gonna talk about it later. But
But I
what Ryan
mean,
Clark is
so I
trying to
mean,
say.
that's why I say it's validity there, and the more, as you can say, the moral way it should go about it, protest and blah blah blah. But like I said again, NIL changed the game. That has changed the game, man. If we didn't have the NIL, maybe it can, we could get some more into the, into the I guess you could say into the place of, yeah, we can protest and all this and that. But no, man, NIL changed the game. That's just that simple.
Yeah.
So
It
and when
does,
I say NIL, when I say that, I mean money. Money is just.
but speaking of that and money, I mean, Lane Kiffin can't keep his mouth shut. So he's down there, he's bad mouthing Ole Miss. Speaking of Ole Miss, that's why I brought Ole Miss as an example. Is that he's still talking smack? So let me put it in perspective. I got something on our, if you look at Brandon Hovel's show group page, you'll see what I put out there about Lane Kiffin. It's got the whole story about him and some more coaching. Sarkisian out there too, talking left. But Kiffin, and he went lying when he said it was hard to recruit at Ole Miss or Mississippi State, because, and especially at Ole Miss, due to the racial history of that school in particular, and also to the mascot and other things. And so it's hard to recruit with all of that stuff going on in Mississippi. And on top of that, you got to play with Yosemite Sam on your helmet. Man, we know we talked about it, we were laughing about it during the game early this year, right? And so, but it's hard to recruit those players. And he was correct about that. And so, like, a lot of the reason that Mississippi schools are so bad year in and year out is because it's tough to play there. It's just tough. It's tough to recruit. And that is a fact because of his history. And so they get who they get, even with NIL. However, what Lane Kiffin brought was, at least a winning culture, the winningest culture that they have ever had in football. Now, here come the lies. He's trying to say because of that, that's why he left Ole Miss. I'm like, time out, MF. Time out, mofo. You hold up, Lane. I'm not with you right there. You left for the bag. Let's cut to the chase. Wherever the biggest bag, you gonna leave because you knew about Ole Miss history before you coached there. So the only reason you went there, they gave you the bag, and you got an opportunity to use them as a stepping stone to get bigger. In addition to that, you could have left, but you stayed. You stayed at Ole Miss for a number of years, knowing the history, and stayed there and did not leave until after you got a bigger bag at LSU. Now you want to go ahead and talk about this stuff. That's why you left. I'm calling BS. I'm calling BS on Lane Kiffin on that. I mean, I ain't a big fan of the guy anyway. He can coach. Give him credit for that. But don't poo-poo on my head and call it cold cream. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't insult my intelligence. And Lane is thinking that we're all stupid. And do not play the race card like that when we know what the truth really is. We know the truth. We know about the recruitment, but don't say that's why you lost, making you some, like you got morality about you. Nah. You about money. Money is it. And end of story. It's about the bag. And he's gonna do LSU the same way. He with them until the next bag comes. That's what he do.
I mean, I agree with you. I think, it definitely was all about the money with him. I mean, I think going back to he's saying it's difficult because of the old, or you could say the history of Ole Miss, particularly you talk about the mascot. Funny thing, the funny thing about that mascot, if you do the history about the mascot, it was basically they made it. It's supposed to be representing of I guess a guy who was he was a blind man, but he attended the University of Milwaukee. He graduated from. He was a big fan of Ole Miss, and he came up with the idea of, they call it Colonel Reb. At any rate,
Yep.
Colonel Reb. They nicked but it was kind of a cartoon,
Rebel.
The Rebel. But it was modeled behind this blind guy. He was a historian from the university. But at any rate, excuse me. But I do, but when you know the history of the old South, it still, it does kind of bring that connotation of, well, what we already know about the old
Yeah,
South, so
right, right.
it doesn't make you, put it this way, looking for me, I would just say, for me, looking at it, don't make me just like, smile, and I want this on the side of my helmet, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm going to play ball. I'm trying to make it to the NFL. This is a place giving me that opportunity. Who, I mean, at this, and being a young kid, I can give a damn. At that point, more likely, I'm probably not going to give a damn about that, because this is an opportunity for me to play ball and get to the NFL. And if you probably ask most of the young kids who play there, that's pretty much probably how they feel about it. Maybe a few may be like, well, I'm really not hip on it, but some probably just say exactly what I say. They give a damn about it. They just,
Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah. I be like,
it's
look,
just an
it's like,
opportunity for me to play and make it to the pros. So,
yeah,
and if I got it, if I go through with the old Colonel Reb on my helmet, so be it. So, you know
they,
what I'm saying.
look, man. I think some
I
of
mean,
these
I'm not
kids
trying to be
have
funny, but I'm just,
no, but I'm 100%. I think these kids, you could have Hitler on your helmet and they will play.
Well, to your point, I mean, you're probably right. You probably could. They probably play with him on the helmet, and don't,
I
if they
think
didn't know.
I think situations are so dire and so whatever for these kids, man. I mean, we can talk about it, but they living it, and
Well,
so
it kind of goes back to like what you said too, and we talked about it earlier. When you have an opportunity and you got the skill set to take care of not just you but your whole family.
right,
Um, where do I sign? You know what I'm saying? Where do
yeah,
I sign? And
yeah,
I'm just gonna make it happen. So,
yeah.
so that
And
so
and, I
that's
just, and for that, I just think it's just a small few. I don't think it's a lot of kids because a lot of kids, if they got a choice, they gonna play somewhere else. No, I can start and make it just as much money or more money somewhere else and still start. And so if I can make just as much money at Kentucky, or Minnesota. If I can go to Minnesota and I can start at running back, make just as much money as I can at Ole Miss, I'm going to Minnesota. It's cold
but
up
I
there, but
mean,
I'm making cheese.
but it's just the same true to play devil's advocate. If I can't start at Minnesota, but I can start at Ole Miss.
I mean, if I, I mean, if I,
I'm,
if, I mean, if,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
because
mean, if those are the only
because
things that's on the.
right,
I'm saying those are the
right,
only thing you got on the table. I'm
right.
saying,
If everything is off the table, everything is off the table, and it's like I got a chance to play D1 ball, or big boy ball, and that's what it is. I mean, and it's got to be low because you're like, you go to Stanford or somewhere else or Southern Cal or somewhere, but it's just like or Baylor, but with stuff like that, man, kids just. But I don't think it's a lot of them like that. That's why it's not a real big whatever. Because I think once Lane Kiffin leaves, I think you're gonna start to see the decline in Ole Miss football. I think he was a really good coach. He was a very good recruiter. He knew how to get guys there. He kept us like, look, man, we can get to the pros this way. Don't worry about it. I know it sucks, but you only got to spend 3 years here paid, and you can move on. You ain't got to come back. You ain't got to donate. It's a business transaction. Keep it moving. And once you get them
my
kids
thing,
here, like
yeah, I'm just saying my thing with Lane Kiffin, and yeah, he's talking about hard to recruit because what the different things at Ole Miss. Uh, but at the end of the day, man, for him, for me, just keep it real.
right,
You
right,
like you said, you were there. You made a decision to leave to get a bigger bag. Okay, okay,
yeah,
so be it.
right,
Nobody is gonna look down on you. They probably, if they was in the same position, they probably do the same thing. So,
mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying? Just keep it real, man. I mean, yeah,
mm-hmm,
hell, it's hard
mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
recruit. I think you know
It's hard to
hard
recruit
to recruit
everywhere. It's hard to recruit
everywhere.
in Georgia. Georgia can't recruit. They can't, they can't get a quarterback. They can't recruit a quarterback worth nothing. So if anything that Georgia's having problems with is recruiting the best quarterback. You had Mendoza, he left. You had another kid, he went to Vanderbilt. You had another kid, he went to we can't keep nobody. So he's talking about recruit. Georgia has recruitment problems too. So I mean, first world problem, but everybody got their own little thing. Let me move on. Let's move. Like I said, we talk this football year round, man. Let's bring Lou on, man, because I want to get into some basketball, talk about these lotteries and go to these lottery picks and stuff that we have. We just had the draft lottery this past Sunday afternoon. And so everybody knows where they're gonna pick, man. You got I'm just say the first 10, and then we can just float it out to everybody. We got Washington Wizards got the number 1 pick. Utah's got the number 2 pick. Memphis has got the number 3 pick. Chicago Bulls has got the number 4. LA Clippers number 5. They're gonna need that. Brooklyn, wow, I think that sucks for Brooklyn to get that number 6 pick. They want to be up a little bit higher than that, especially as much as they work, as hard as they work to tank. They only got the number 6 pick. Sacramento number 7. That's another one that worked hard to tank, and they got the number 7 pick. Hawks got number 8 from New Orleans. We were hoping we are gonna get that 6 or 7, or even sneak our way in the top 5, but I think that 8 is good for the Hawks. Don't give them a chance to mess that up. Dallas Mavericks number 9, and Ronnie got the top 10. It's the Bucks it's the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Warriors at 11. So I'm gonna bring Lou and Howard. What do you guys think about where everybody ended up with that, and just some loose thoughts on that? Do we have Lou on?
Yeah, Lou's on. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me unmute him. He was muted.
Okay.
Lou.
I'm here.
How you doing, man?
Well, at least, my co-host we have, because the Wizards, they did get the number 1 in the draft lottery. So, that made perfect sense. I think the Nets actually went up 6th, even though I think they should have been higher because, of course, how bad they are. So,
yeah.
But I think they got it right this time.
Yep. Homer, what you think about the draft and how it the order ended up? Because I know a lot of people would say, well, it's tainted and all that stuff. So what do you think about it?
I'm gonna have to agree with Lou. I think it played out pretty much to the way I pretty much was seeing, going. I mean, planning to see it play out. It's going to be interesting. The Hawks picking at number 8, and they got the 23rd pick.
Speak on that, Howard.
Yeah, man. I think based on our notes, I don't know, Brad. I think it's a real good chance they're going to be able to get a big man. I believe, at least I hope, and then then go with maybe go with a point shooting guard at 23.
Yep. This is me, man. I anything can happen. I mean, there are a couple of guys. I mean, you can get Flemings out of Houston. He's a point guard that may fall down. You got Acuff, point guard out of Arkansas, but he's a little on the small side, but he's really good. I've seen him play. You have Bade Mara. That's the big guy. All right, he's 7'3", out of Michigan. Now, I think he only averaged about 6 rebounds a game, a few block shots, and some points. But he had to split that up with Johnson Jr. But Michigan had a good team, and they had a deep team. So he didn't get a lot of playing time because it was so good and they were so deep at all positions. But I think I would love if we picked him up, and I hope that nobody else picks him up, because now he's getting a lot of traction with the combine right now. But Hawks need a big man. Hawks need a point guard. I'm cool either way. My preference is to get Mara at 7'3". You can't coach somebody to grow and be 7'3" and be a rim protector and move. So if that guy falls in your lap, because before they're like, well, he's probably going to lead. He's going to go in between, I don't know, between 10 and 20. So if the Hawks mess around and skip him and choose a point guard instead, he won't be at 23. That's the conundrum, So, you got to find another big guy. But I think it's a deep draft where you got enough guys there. I think there's also Mikael Brown Jr. Out of Louisville.
Yeah.
And I think he's like 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", somewhere along there.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, he's got some good size to him. So I would like to pick him. I've seen him play. He's a pretty good guy. He can create off the dribble. He's a traditional point. He's a little young though. He's got some back problems, so he didn't play a lot of games. I don't say a lot of games, but there were some games. I think he might have missed about 5 to 7 games or something to do with some back spasms or something. But he can run half court offense, but he still got some growing to do. I'm a little leery of a 19, 20-year-old point guard.
Yeah.
Unless he's Jason Kidd ish, And but I think in due time he'll learn if you have some other guys, veterans on the team to kind of help him along the way. So I don't have a real big problem with Mikael Brown Jr. coming to the Hawks. And so, but if you get a point guard at number 8, I think the Hawks have to get a big man at number 23. And I think in reverse, I think if you get the big man, if you finally get a big man at number 8, you kind of have to get a point guard at 23, which I don't mind. I think that'll allow the Hawks to look at, a bigger point guard that is not as flashy, but he's an older point guard, and then they can run an offense. They play at least 2-3 years of college ball. They got good size to them. They can run half court, play defense. I think that's what the Hawks need. I would do that at 23, and then get a big man at number 8. That's just my little armchair GM duties, guys. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I would get out, and I would really look at free agency also in terms of who's out there. You don't have to start these rookies right away. I would go out there and Lou. I'm looking at your guy, Lou. Mitchell Robinson. I'm looking at Mitchell Robinson. If I could throw some money at Mitchell Robinson, and maybe I can get him to start until I can get my rookie straight. That'll add depth, because we already have Jacques Landale and Jack Landale, and we got another big man too. So as the Hawks, I want to get bigger. I get a big man. I get Mitchell Robinson. I get Mora at the 5, who are traditional 5 guards. I move Okongwu to the 4 because he's a 4 anyway that's playing a 5, and I move back Jalen Johnson to a 3. Which gives me a big 3. So I will automatically have one of the biggest front lines in the NBA. And I can compete against the Knicks. I can compete against the Pistons. I can compete against because the league is going big. And so that way all I need is a bigger point guard. And I get a big point guard, and that way I can compete. So that's kind of my little armchair thoughts on that, guys. I don't know what you think about that, Hobel.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with everything you said, man. I mean, I just I hope it all plays out well for us, but I definitely like the position, with the Hawks.
Yeah. I think we're in a good position. I like the 8 and 23. See, we're talking about the draft. Lou doesn't have to worry about the draft. He's a Knicks fan, so he doesn't have to worry about the draft.
That's right.
He's worried about the championship right now. So the Knicks are sitting back here looking at Cleveland and the Pistons, and they're hoping this game goes to 7. Right, Nick? Right, Luke?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, they're sitting back. So I don't think nobody's beating the Knicks, man, on the East. They're waiting to see what's going to happen on the West Coast. So this game is nip and tuck with Detroit and Cleveland. That series is tied 2-2. The Knicks just embarrassed another team. They embarrassed the Sixers. They win that series 4-0. At least the Hawks won 2 games. But they swept the Sixers. The Sixers didn't even show up but one game, and they lost that one by 20. So, any thoughts about that, Nick, Hover or Lou, about that series, the Knicks and the Sixers? It seems like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it does. And the only time that the Knicks really looked bad was in Game 2 when Philly had taken a slight lead, but after that, the Knicks just took control, and then they just beat him. They beat him soundly and handily, and the Sixers just looked flat.
Yeah, it was just bad. I mean, with Embiid, without Embiid, it didn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't even, yeah, I mean, it just, like you said, it seemed like, dang, the series already over with, you know what I'm saying? But, or it is over. But I think one of the biggest things that I think came from that, watching a little of that series was Joel Embiid, man. I think, and you could tell me, Bray, I mean, that guy, why it seems like he can't stay on his feet. He's always falling for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know if I don't know that just his style of play, but sometimes
accidentally
it
to
kind of
happen.
it comes across as clumsy. I don't know, maybe
I
it's
don't know.
like
It might be.
it just looks clumsy, man. It just like really.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't. I don't.
maybe if he stay on his feet, maybe they might have had a chance to win one game.
I don't know. They look like they played a lot faster without him. Um,
I mean,
Withers.
that guy look. I mean, he for the biggest the size. I mean, he is about as clumsy as. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty
Every
bad,
time
Yeah,
I
man. I
look
don't know.
around here, maybe I can count. I think somebody was talking about it. They said in one game, I think he was on the floor like over 20 fouls on the floor. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. And I think yeah, being that big, I wouldn't want to hit the floor that many times. Being that big, man, it seems like
Well,
it'd
that's
be
the
hard
reason
to
why he
get up.
can't stay on the That's the reason why he can't
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
healthy,
right.
stay on the court.
yeah, yeah. This is true. Yeah, you're correct. That makes sense. I don't know, Hova. I mean, that guy. I don't know. A lot of these big men play smaller. I don't know. A lot of the big men kind of tend to play a lot smaller and not play like big men. In my
I mean, but
opinion.
but when you look at the best big man in the game, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to just throw doo doo at him, but
Yeah.
when you look at like Elijah Wan and Shaq, I can't count the number of times I've seen Elijah Wan fall, and if he did fall, maybe one or two times in a game, and somebody pushed him. Other than that,
Right.
that man was on his feet at all
He was on his
times.
feet. The greats are on their feet, man. I wouldn't consider Embiid one
Even
of the greats.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As a matter of fact, I can't think of a
Exactly.
Yeah.
game Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I
Me
can't
neither.
think of a game where he actually was on the floor.
Me neither. Not when
I
it's
mean, I'm not
hard.
trying to
You
be.
got to go hard. You're
I'm
correct.
just,
I mean,
I'm
and,
just
and
being honest.
Kareem to elbows to the ribs, everything, man.
But I don't
Kareem just like
recall.
he swung on
I
you.
don't
That
recall
but
seeing. I don't recall seeing Kareem falling like this
I mean,
dude.
but then again, Kareem was an 8th-degree black belt. So I mean, that might have had something.
Or maybe Kareem just had better balance and he wasn't anyway. I should,
Yeah.
No, Kareem was, yeah, he was very good on his feet. A lot of big men are good on their feet. He is not one of them. So he's flopping all over the place, man. I mean, a lot of I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, man. But some of these new school big men trying to get the call and playing the refs, and try to get the other man fouled out instead of just sitting there and manning up and playing this guy
well,
man to
I
man.
think I just
Trying to
think
get the
in
call.
basketball, I just think basketball, you are more productive if you can stay on your feet
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I
than
agree.
than you're
Yeah.
on the court
Yeah.
15 times in one quarter. I mean, come on.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Agreed. 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 Hope. I mean, you said it. So with that, man, we'll see. I think out of this one, I think let's see who had. Yep, you guys both have the Pistons in this series, and so Pistons are trying to get it done. We'll see what happens. I still think that's going to 7 games, possibly. On the West Coast side, we have the Thunder defeated the Lakers 4-0, and we still got the Spurs And Timberwolves going at the Spurs are up 3-2 over the Timberwolves, which are a really scrappy team, man. They win or lose, man. This team has really been keeping up with the Spurs. With Wemby getting ejected in Game 4. How about that, man? Who saw that coming? So you knew he was going to have a big game in Game 5 after getting ejected. What you guys think about that Spurs Timberwolves matchup so far?
I wasn't expecting this kind of matchup at all. I thought really San Antonio was going to whip them.
Yeah.
I really did. I really think they was much of a chance.
Yeah. I got them going 7 games
now, don't we?
Well, I got them going 7 games though.
I agree with Lou. I agree with both of you guys. I think the Timberwolves definitely making it a series. I can see it going 7 games. Spurs winning it. I just don't see. I think where the issue that I see with the Timberwolves. Okay, you kind of know what you're going to get with Ant-Man, but you don't really know what you're going to get consistently with. I forgot the other guy, Randall.
Right.
It look like sometimes Randall takes games off. I don't know if, and to be honest, to be honest, Brad, that was the reason why he wasn't. That's why he's not with the Knicks anymore, because they were just like
Julius Randle.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They was like, this guy's taking games off, and I just don't know. In my opinion, I just don't know how. I just don't know how hungry he is for a title.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't seem. It just seems like. It seems like to me. I just think he's kind of going into this playoffs and is as if it's not a playoff game, man. It's just another game, right?
Yeah. Right.
We win tonight. We win. If we win tonight, we win. If we don't, we don't. If I don't put, whatever. So he's not. I guess I don't see the eye. I guess what I'm getting at. I don't see the eye of the tiger with this guy. That's what I'm at.
Yeah.
As they say, there is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. He got to get that eye of the tiger, man.
No. He don't. No, right now, Brad. For him, there is tomorrow, and maybe 2 more days after that.
Yeah.
See.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Hey, man, I don't think there's a surprise that the Thunder beat the Lakers 4-0, man.
No surprise at all.
No surprise on that one. It was really a laugher for OKC because Lakers did the best that they could. But they just could not overcome the champions, man. So at this point, what happens to LeBron, man? 5 things. I'm gonna put it out there to you guys. The future. What's the future of LeBron next season? I'd say either he retires or he returns to the Lakers. There's always rumors that finish your career as a Knick. Did you go to the Warriors? There's some.
He might go to Cleveland. He might go back home.
Or the number one thing is to go back to Cleveland. So what do you think? That was my next question. So Lou said he's going to go back to Cleveland, or he should go back to Cleveland. What say you, Ho?
I think that'd be a nice move if he decided to finish out his career, back where he started.
Did take Bronny with him?
And take Bronny with him, But I'm going to be honest, man. Yeah, because I think I'm going to be honest with you. I think, and I'm going to say this. Soon as LeBron put his son on that team, man, I know they weren't going to win no championship. You're not going to win a championship that way. I get it. What he's looking out for his son and put him in that. I would have did the same thing.
Looked out for him, but you think he was going to be a star? No.
Yeah, right, but they were not going to. They were hoping to pair him with Luka, and maybe that can get him over the hump. But that's not the solution either. So,
there's never a solution.
So I think. So here's my. I think it should either be I would like to Maybe if he made the decision to end his career in Cleveland, I think that'll be a nice way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he doesn't do that, really, really give it some deep consideration about whether or not he wants to continue to play. Because,
Mm.
and I say that simply because what I saw in that playoff is he's definitely LeBron, but he's not in his prime.
No.
And I think sometimes Brad, I think he doesn't really have really nothing else to prove. So
Right.
That's what I keep saying.
if he decide to put the ball away and just walk away from it, that's
Yeah.
totally fine too. So that's what I like to see from LeBron. But if he decide to
I
continue to
mean,
play, that's fine.
yeah.
I just don't know. I think he just have to continue to go as a role player, and maybe they can
Right.
really try to build the Lakers, and he can groom somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if he wants to chase a chip, then he's gonna have to take a huge pay cut, go somewhere else. So
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. If he stays with the Lakers, he's got to take a pay cut, and for them to get that team right for a championship.
yeah,
But
they got to get him right.
um, you know what I'm
So I
saying.
don't.
But I don't know if he wants to do that. Um, but then again, you never know. You never know. I mean, he may maybe consider that option as an option
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I really truly believe he wouldn't nothing more than to get another championship with his son, um, you know, playing with him. So
Look.
that
No, that's not gonna work. I think only chance you probably gonna get. I mean, I don't know. He gonna have to come off the bench for a true contender that's got some pieces already. I don't see that at Golden State because it would be cool to see
No.
them play together, but I don't see them winning a chip. I think Golden State. I think the sun has set on their championship run. You have to go somewhere else, man. That's on the verge. You got to go to San Antonio. You got to go to Denver. You got to go to Philly or somewhere. I don't know, but you got to go somewhere that a team that's on the verge. That hey, we just need a LeBron coming off the bench, and then we'd be good to go. But I don't see that happening. I think I agree with Lou and you guys in terms of he goes back home to Cleveland and sit it on down. But
yeah,
I have to give LeBron credit for being in such good shape at that age and to be as productive as he is. We have not seen that from anybody. Kobe hurt his ankle, so he wasn't the same. So he had to sit it on down. His ankle wasn't the same. He couldn't move. We saw Mike gained about 20 pounds, looked like a power forward. He wasn't the same when he got older. LeBron looked better than all them cats put together. Also, we saw Kareem. Kareem was in pretty good shape when he got to 40. Kareem, how old was Kareem? 42 when he retired, something like that.
yeah, he was something
40.
like that.
29.
But he was, yeah, it was something like that. But he was in good shape.
He was in good
Yeah,
shape. Now
he was still in good shape. Yeah,
Kareem, I got to give Kareem credit. Kareem was in some pretty good shape when he didn't move as fast, but I think Kareem averaged like 14 points a game in his retirement year, man. Something like, he's the
yeah.
greatest. He's the greatest.
I
You know
definitely
what I mean?
I definitely think. I mean, in my opinion, I think he probably could have played at least another
Yeah,
2 more seasons.
yeah. I agree. He
To
should
be
have about
honest,
44. Yeah, I agree. I remember Kareem those last years, and he
I
still can play a
mean,
little
he
bit.
was still. I mean, even when he retired, he was still productive. So,
He was still
um,
productive. He wasn't dominant, but he was productive. Like LeBron.
Right.
LeBron ain't dominant, but he's productive. So look, guys, that's good talk, guys. That's good talk. So what I want to do, let's go on and wind it on down for the night, fellas. It's been good talk on the Bread and Hope show tonight. I wish we could do one more hour, but we got to go. Lou, take us home, brother.
All right. This
mm,
Enhanced Sports Show Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number is 512-543-4662. We'll continue on with the NHL and NBA playoffs. We'll take care of both draft lotteries, which are now complete.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the PGA Golf Championship, which begins tomorrow. We're going to cover that as well. of course. MLB, UFC, boxing news as well. I think I got something else. Oh yeah, we'll cover the NFL draft, the NFL schedule. Well, as much as I possibly
Yep.
can, and
Yep,
yeah,
it'll
we'll
be
talk
out.
some. Yeah, we'll talk some UFL as well. And see your thoughts and comments, which are always welcome. Sports trivia, distinct sports history, and the feel good start of the week. So remember, it's 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number is 512-543-4662. Hopefully, you guys can join it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Lou.
All right, fellas. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Luke.
All right. Thanks for joining the Brandon Hoper Show. Until next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Big on it.
Speak on it.